Okay, I'm not sure why it keeps cutting out, but Mark 4 and 17, they get offended on behalf of the truth. Somebody might, offend them, and it's enough to take them out of this truth where, they're like, I don't want to deal with the bitterness, I don't want to deal with the changes and the burden that the truth brings, because again, you can't serve two masters. You're going to love one and hate the other. So if you're offended and you're not able to endure, a lot of these brothers fall out of the truth because of that bitterness. They want to go back to the world. Says on Mark 4:18, and these are they which are sown among the thorns, such as hear the word. And the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. So again, it's comparing it to those Israelites who they just don't have what it takes to endure. They can't remain faithful to the truth. They'll go back to the world. They'll go back to their wickedness. Like a dog going back to its throw up. And it says here it's like thorns choking the word and becomes unfruitful because they'll fall out of the truth. Mark 4 and 20, and these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. Okay, so that's where you want to be. That's that elect man, that chosen one of Yahweh, the one who can swallow the sweet in his mouth and it's bitter in his stomach, but he still has a passion for the truth, and he's going to endure. Okay, elect man will endure. It's not going to matter because their priority is the truth, and they're keeping their eye on the prize, which is that crown. That you'll receive if you can endure to the end. Blessed is he who endures through the end. All right. So that's that 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. Because everyone in the truth has their own talent. Some men have more talents than others, and they're gonna bring forth more fruit because they're gonna sow. All that seed, and they're gonna be able to endure and lead others and teach others, prophesy. Mark 4 and 21, and he said unto them, is a candle brought to be put under a bushel, under a bed, and not to be set on a candlestick? So there you go. The candle is a metaphor for or a parable for the wisdom, the light, because this truth and this is the knowledge and the light. So if you have that kind of knowledge and the truth, you can't hide the light. You have to bring forth fruit. The only way you can do that is if you're prophesying, teaching, and on fire for this truth. You're not gonna, if you don't share it with anybody and you just keep that knowledge to yourself, if you know the missiles are coming and you're not telling people and letting them know it's time to repent, then, what good is that truth? It's like a candle being placed under a bed. It's not gonna have its purpose being manifested. For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. Okay, so if you can hear this truth and you can understand this truth and you can receive this truth, then, hearken, listen to the word. And he said unto them, take heed what ye hear, with what measure ye mete, it shall be measured to you, and unto you that hear shall be given more. All right, so self-explanatory, If you're that elect man, you're going to hear this truth. You're going to share that knowledge, and you're going to go around scattering seeds, planting planting the seeds of wisdom. For he that hath to him shall be given, and he that hath not, from him shall be taken even which he hath. So if you can't endure, and you fall out of the truth, or you're not teaching or preaching or doing videos, trying to wake up the and seal the elect men, help seal the elect men, it's going to be taken from you. Because you literally got to be on fire, man. You got to wake up, meditate on this truth during the day. Your thoughts should be meditating on this truth. And when you go to bed at night, you should be thinking about the truth. And he said, so is the kingdom of Yahweh, as if a man should cast seed into the ground, and should sleep and rise night and day, and the seed should spring and grow up, he knoweth not how. But the earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, first the blade, then the ear, after that full corn in the ear. Alright, so it's just another parable showing that, the fruit manifesting. Mark 4:29. But when the fruit is brought forth, immediately he putteth the sickle, because the harvest is come. And he said, whereunto shall we liken the kingdom of Yahweh? Or with what comparison shall we compare it? It is like the grain of a mustard seed, which when it is sown in the earth is less than all the seeds that be in the earth. But when it is sown, it groweth up, and becometh greater than all herbs, and shooteth out great branches, so that the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. And with many such parables spake he that the word unto them, as they were able to hear it. But without a parable spake he not unto them. And when they were alone, he expounded all these things to his disciples. So the word expounded, it means to explain in great detail. All right? In Hebrew, the word is called nigad, which means expounded, nigad. So Yahweh Shai, he would speak in parables, and then when he get in private, he would expound to the disciples, the apostles. He would let them know, hey, this is what I meant by what I was saying. He'd break it down for them, break down the parables, because they were able to receive it, but, he went into great detail explaining these truths. Let's see. And I'm going to stop right there, but I got a couple precepts that I want to bring out. We're going to go to John chapter 10. And I'm going to go to verse 20. And it says, and this is what they speak of Yahweh Shai, what they were speaking of him, and the same thing they say about the prophets. And many of them said, he hath a devil, and is mad. Why hear ye him? Others said, these are not the words of him that hath a devil. Can a devil open the eyes of the blind? So, right there, it's showing you that, they looked at Yahweh Shai. Some people were like, man, this guy's got a devil inside him. He's preaching that salvation is only for Israel. He's preaching that, the world of Israel is the salvation. And, in Rome, they weren't able to accept that. Not even the Jews. That's the ones who was talking, the Jews. If I move up, you could see that in verse 19. There was a division, therefore, again, among the Jews for these sayings. Right? And the same thing is happening today. Just because you preach this truth to the Israelites, they don't, a lot of them say, hey, man, these guys are devils. They've gone crazy, and is mad. They're saying this dude's gone crazy. He's got a funky beard. He speaks hate, they call it. But no, we're actually, saying the same thing that Yahweh Shai was saying. All right. Let me jump to down John 10 and 24. Then came to the Jews round about him, and said unto them, How long dost thou make us doubt? If thou be Yahweh Shai, tell us plainly. Let's see. And I'll read it. John 10 and 25. See, and they're asking him, hey, just tell us plainly. Don't speak in parables. Why? Because they couldn't understand it or receive it. A lot of these 2/3, these wicked Israelites, they're the same way. They don't understand the parables, so they're stuck on their oppressor's doctrine, the Edomite doctrine. And they don't want to move on from Christmas. They don't want to move on from eating pork. They don't want to move on from, keeping their faces clean shaven. They don't want to move on from anything Yahweh Shai stands for. And Yahweh Shai answered them, I told you, and ye believed not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. All right? So this is speaking about Yahweh Shai is telling you plainly that, hey, my sheep hear my voice and I know them and they follow me. Because the elect hear these parables. We hear them and we receive them. We read it earlier. Some will hear and they'll even see it, but they won't perceive it. It'll be brought aware to them, but they don't understand. They don't believe. And why? Because earlier we brought it out. It's not given to everybody. The parables are given unto the elect. Okay? Let me jump to precept Matthew 24:24. And this one reads, For there shall arise false Yahweh-Shais and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, in so much that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Okay, so there's going to be so much, so many different false prophets and false people claiming that they're Yahweh Shais in these last days, that if it were possible, they would even deceive the elect. So that's how you know the elect is such a few number compared to the population of planet Earth. It's only 144,000. 1/3 of Israel will be saved in those chariots, the so-called UFOs, with the elect that are attached to the elect. But literally, there's going to be so much deception on planet Earth, which is right now. You see it all over the place because you see Israelites who are so-called black men, so-called Native American men, so-called Hispanic men. They can't accept this truth, man. They're too comfortable living under the oppressor's doctrines. All right? They get pissed off if you tell them, that salvation is only for the Israelites. They're offended. Even if they're an Israelite, they're offended. And it's because of that mindset they've been dumbed down, man. They've been deceived. I'm going to go to Matthew 13. I'll close out here in just a second. Matthew 13. And Matthew 13, and we'll go to verse 11. Oops, I went to 12. And he answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. All right, so I don't know what more I have to say for you to realize that this truth is not given to everybody. This is red letter, meaning Yahweh Shai is speaking these words, and he's telling you in verse 11, chapter 13 of Matthew, that is only given the mysteries unto the elect and to the apostles and disciples of Yahweh Shai. It is not given to everybody. All right. Let's go to 13 and 13. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. There it is again. I mean, they don't understand. Most people are, going to be offended at the truth. Most people are going to stumble at the truth. They're not going to understand. And it's because the parables are not for them. It's just too much. It's too much for a wicked ass 2/3 to be revealed the real truth that we're bringing out. They're not gonna deny the microchip when it comes out. They're gonna take the microchip, which is the mark of the beast. They're gonna willingly take that thing. It's gonna be like when the new iPhone comes out, that they're gonna jump on that opportunity to get that chip implanted into them. And it's gonna be all kinds of different reasons. Some are gonna fold because it's gonna be they're gonna freak out because it's like, oh, I won't be able to eat without that chip in my hand. How am I gonna buy groceries? How am I gonna get a job? And it's because because they don't understand. They don't believe. Revelation 14:3 is I believe that's the chapter that speaks about the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. Okay, these people are gonna willingly take that microchip and be called. You can call them dead. When you get that microchip in your hand, you've made allegiance to the beast system, and you're good as dead. All right. There's going to be two different types of people in the last, in the day of wrath. There's going to be people that make the allegiance to the beast system, which is Esau, Edomites system. And sorry about that. But they're going to take that chip. There's going to be another person who is the elect, and the 1/3 of Israel who are attached to the elect. They're going to deny that chip, and therefore will have salvation. But there's even going to be men who are in this truth that are in the hour of temptation are going to have a hard time and fold and take that plague, which will be the microchip, because they won't understand or believe these parables. Close out on Matthew 16 and 17. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Hear ye the parable of the sower. So that's what it is. They are the ones who get this truth and receive it. Okay? So with that, I'm going to close out. Give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah, Kwadash, Barakatha. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.